Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would do a chit chat video / get ready with me. So before we get started, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you want to make sure that you hit that bell so you're notified every single time I upload. So if you want to see how I created this look and find out what's going on in my life, then keep on watching. Okay, so first I'm going to start with my mineral primer from Hourglass. And I love this primer because it fills in all of your pores area. And this month, my skin has just taken a toll during my monthly cycle that Mother Nature brought to me. I broke out so bad, and I usually don't break out this bad. It's usually just like one or two, so I don't know what was going on with my skin, but we're gonna cover them up today. So I feel like since quarantine ended and the world slowly going back to normal, I guess, or our new normal, I feel like it's just been crazy, especially for us that have, especially for us that manage salons or spas or any type of business where you weren't sure how business was going to resume. So for me, managing a salon and spa, I had a feeling hair was going to be busy just because so many people went without haircuts, and I know a lot of people tried to cut their own hair at home, or they had somebody else do it for them and it probably didn't turn out the way they wanted, or it wasn't uneven. So for me, I felt like hair was for sure going to be busy. I was unsure about nails and massage and facials and things like that. So for my location, I knew it was either going to be dead or we were going to be slammed. But I really wasn't sure that there would be an in-between. So when we reopened and we announced that nails and massage and everything else was opening, because in California, hair reopened before nails, massage, and everything like that. So when we announced that those departments were reopening, I kid you not, the phones were off the hook. I was shocked at how many people booked massages and facials and nails. I mean, it was just way more than I thought, which was good. That's the best scenario. So it's really interesting. So once we reopened, I mean, we just literally hit the ground running. It was so crazy, and it was a little overwhelming at times because, with the new normal, you're having to sanitize in between clients, so you really can't take as many clients as you used to, and you really have to space out your clients just so you can properly sanitize in between clients. So it was kind of a new norm. So the fact of having to adjust to our new normal and have a busy salon, it was a little overwhelming, but myself and my team, we did an amazing job. So I'm super proud with how they kind of just hit the ground running and did everything that they were supposed to do. So with work being busy, and then my life has been crazy, my personal life has been crazy. We have our older dog, Gracie. In March, we kind of found out she had a gallbladder issue, and so at the time her gallbladder wasn't functioning properly, and it wasn't moving the sludge, as they call it, like it should be. So she's been dealing with that for quite a while, and Then last week, because she's older, she's 9, she went to go run, and she has arthritis. So typically when she gets up, we have to kind of give her a moment to essentially get the blood flowing, get her muscles moving, that type of thing. And she just decided that she was going to hit the ground running and run with our younger dog, and she ended up injuring her leg. And because she is overweight and she's been on a diet for quite a while, and the diet food seems to have helped a little bit, but they can't figure out why she's overweight. They did thyroid tests and everything like that, and every test came back normal, within normal range. So that's a battle in itself. That's an ongoing process. And so because she's overweight and being on 3 legs, like, that's another concern, because you don't want to wear out the other legs as well. So we took her to the vet this week, and turns out that she might have torn a ligament in her knee, and she meets with a surgeon in about 2 weeks. And luckily she doesn't seem to be in a ton of pain. She's wanting to play and just kind of do like normal dog things, but we have to try and limit her activity because we don't want her to injure herself or injure another leg, because she is kind of off balance. So after she meets with the surgeon, they're going to find out if she needs to have surgery or not. So if she has to have surgery, that's going to be fun. So she's kind of like it's like taking care of like your grandmother or something. You know, they're at the doctor every 2 weeks, things like that. So she's kind of our old lady that we're taking care of at the moment, but we love her, so we don't mind doing it. I don't know if I said, but I used my Huda Beauty Foundation, and I used it in the shade Toasted Coconut. And then for concealer, I'm using my favorite, which is the Shape Tape. I love a good full coverage, just because I do have a little bit of pigmentation, and my cheeks are always a little red. So for me, I love full coverage, just to cover up everything. And the shade of concealer that I use is light neutral. I really am one of those people that likes a bright white under eye. I just think it makes you look so awake, and I don't know, it just looks so pretty on the skin. So I don't know about you guys, but I literally cannot wait until Ulta and Sephora reopen in our area. Sephora did reopen, but I think somebody may have tested positive, because it was open for I think like a week, and then a friend of mine went to go the other day and it said temporary closed until further notice. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that maybe somebody tested positive. But I hope not. I hope they just are doing, I don't know, a deep cleaning or something. But I miss going to the store and looking around and shopping. It's not that I don't like shopping online, it's just that, I don't know, I'm a very visual person. So I love to look, I love to touch and feel, which I know once stores reopen, you probably won't be able to swatch stuff anymore just for sanitary reasons, which I totally get. But it's just the feeling of being actually in the store that's just really satisfying. And I also don't like waiting for makeup to arrive. I just am so impatient, because I'm like one of those people that I order a bunch of stuff online, especially like my essentials, and it arrives, but then as soon as it arrives, other essentials I run out of. So it's just kind of like I have to reorder again. I don't know, I never run out of my stuff all at once. It's like scattered. So it's gonna be fun when stores reopen. I miss that world. So for setting powder, I'm just using my Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder. I absolutely love this stuff. I feel like between the primer and the setting powder, it just gives you a really pretty airbrushed look. And it's not too heavy. This powder is very, very light, and I just feel it melts into the skin and gives it an overall really pretty glow. Especially right now, I like a thin powder just because, as I mentioned earlier, I did have some breakouts with my monthly, and so my skin is healing, but it's still a little bit textured. So when my skin is textured, I don't like heavy powders because I feel it just, and I don't know, it just, so especially because my skin is healing right now, I don't like heavy powders. I feel like it enhances the texture, so I just like to make sure I go in with something very light that won't clog my pores. It just kind of does what it's supposed to do, which is this powder. And then I always put some on my eyelids because I'm oily, and I just feel it helps to dye down the oil a little bit. So what profession are you guys in? Have you worked this whole time? Are you considered an essential worker? Have you been off? What have you done with your time if you were in quarantine? I know for me, I didn't want to be somebody who just sat around and kind of wasted the day. I wanted to still be productive. Yes, I binge watched a ton of shows, but I also tried to nurture my mind in the sense that I did a lot of reading, a lot of finance books. I love reading finance stuff. It's kind of my guilty pleasure. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but I think if you find the right book and you find a way to learn it in a very easy way, it's kind of interesting. It's actually very interesting. So for bronzer, I'm just staying home today, so I'm not going to do anything too exciting, but I'm going to take my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to, so for contour, I'm going to take my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to take this light shade. It's called Conscious, so I'm going to take that one, tap it on. I love this palette. I think it is so easy to work with, and I think it's so great for a lot of different shade ranges. I will say though, if you're dark or a deep dark, I don't think it'll work for you just because I feel like the colors in it aren't the right shade. And I don't think the darkest one is going to be dark enough, especially if you're looking for a contour, so I would just keep that in mind. Also, if you're very, very fair, like porcelain skin, it may be a little dark for you, just depending on what look you're going for. But I think if you're a light medium to maybe medium dark, it might work well for you guys. So for foundations, I'm always a light medium. I'm either usually the last shade in the light range or the first one or two in the medium range. And because I'm natural undertones, it's so hard to find foundations that have that perfect natural. A lot of them are either too pink or too yellow. So if you guys have any good foundations that are neutral, let me know, because I'm definitely looking to try some others out. I did hear that the, Beauty Blender foundation was really good, especially for the light mediums, because they have a lot of different tones and ranges. However, I know with that line, they don't really cater to those with deep or deep dark skin tones. So I don't know. But if you have a good foundation, let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. Moving on to eyes, I am using the P.Louise eyeshadow base. This is Rumour 1. I love this base. I think it's $15 on Morphe, and it lasts so long because you only need a little bit. I think I bought this maybe 8 to 10 months ago, and it's right at the halfway mark, I think, if that. There may be a little bit more than half left in it. It's so good. And I have very oily eyelids, so a lot of primers don't work on me. A lot of them tend to crease within a few hours or less. So because I have oily eyelids, a lot of primers don't work for me. They crease. The two that work the best on my oily eyelids is this one, the P.Louise base, and NARS Smudge Proof, the original. I think they came out with a nude color or some type of tinted one, but the one that I've used for years and years, I probably used it for 10 years, is the original one, and that one worked great. I just find that this one works a lot better. So if you haven't tried this, I would definitely recommend it, especially if you have oily eyelids. So because I'm not really doing anything exciting today, I'm just going to go in with my Jaclyn Hill palette and just kind of do a fun, simple, natural bronze look, I'm thinking. So to start, I'm going to take the color, what color do I want? I think I'm going to take the color Perfectionist, and then I'm going to take a little bit of Love Handles as well. So for me, I love starting any eye look, no matter what color I'm doing, with a color that is very similar to my skin tone. I just feel that it does a good job of setting the base for your look, and it helps with blending and everything like that. So I love just starting a look with just a very simple color, and it doesn't even have to show up, honestly, but it gives you a nice guide. So I am using the Morphe M519 brush just to put this color on, and then I'm going to switch my brush to one of my favorites, and it's a discontinued brush, unfortunately. So that would be my Sonia Kashuk brush. I've had this brush for probably 10 years or so. I love it. It's super fluffy, and I don't know if you can see, but the handle is kind of wavy, and there's no name on this brush, so I just assumed it's been discontinued because I can't find it, but maybe it's a permanent brush and they just changed the handle to like a straight handle. But I have hooded eyes, so because this brush is kind of big and fluffy, it makes blending super easy, and it just works so well. I love it. I use it in every single eye look, no matter what colors I'm doing. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to take this Morphe M453 brush, and I'm going to dip in the color into the color Comfort Zone, which is kind of like this medium brown color. I'm knocking everything over. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in the crease. And I think one of the pros to having hooded eyes, which I know a lot of people talk about hooded eyes being a con, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't say they're a con. I just think that they're different, so you have to learn how to do things differently. And one of the pros though with having hooded eyes is if you are a beginner learning to blend your eyeshadow and you're not sure kind of where that sweet spot is, having hooded eyes, your eyelids, because this fold is heavy and it creates that hood, throughout the day, it'll naturally blend your eyeshadows together in the crease. So even if you don't get that perfect blend in your crease, it will blend together throughout the day. So if you're a beginner, just don't stress too much about blending that crease area out perfectly. I would obviously recommend to make sure that the edges are blended out, but the crease part, don't stress too much, because throughout the day, like I said, the colors will blend together and it'll be really, really pretty. Doing certain looks like cut creases and things like that, it can be tricky, but it's just a learning curve. And I know that there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube on how to do this and how to do that with hooded eyes, but I feel like you just have to do it yourself. You just have to practice your own. Tutorials are helpful, but I feel like nobody can master your face the way you can, because you know your face, you know your habits, you know your structure, things like that. So I always would recommend people just practice on yourself. And for beginners, it's especially important to understand that the first probably, I don't know, 50 or 100 looks that you do are gonna look like a hot mess. It's just a fact, because you're learning, you're practicing. But when you compare your first look that you did to your 20th look, it'll be that much more better. And then when you compare your 20th look to your 50th look, it'll be that much more better. So yes, the first 50 or 100 looks may not be your best work, but every time you redo it, it'll get that much better. So I think that's important to keep in mind, is that you're not going to get an eyeshadow look on the first try. You may not be able to put on lashes on the first try, but the important thing is to keep practicing, because one day it's just gonna click and it's gonna come out so bomb, and you're going to just have this, you're just gonna have this huge burst in your self-esteem, and it's gonna be amazing. So if you're new, keep going, don't give up, because it will get easier, that I can promise. So for my lid color, I think I'm gonna do like a champagne gold. Because this is kind of a get ready with me, I thought it would be appropriate to do the shade Get Ready With Me, which is kind of like this bronzy color right here. When it comes to glittery or satiny colors, kind of like this one, I find it the best to apply with your finger. I feel like it sticks the best. And then what I do, because my inner corner area is so tiny, is I just go in as far as I can, and then I will actually go back in with a brush and apply the rest to the inner corner area. But using my finger just kind of gets the shape down and the placement. So I don't know about you guys, but during this quarantine, besides reading a ton, I've just been so inspired to redecorate my house. And it's kind of funny when it comes to redecorating, because you do one room or you get new decor or a new rug, and then everything around it starts to look old. And so then you're like, well, if I redid my office or my bedroom, let me redo the living room and let me redo the kitchen. And it just kind of snowballs into redoing your whole house. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I just purchased a new rug for our entryway. I purchased new bath stuff, so towels, things like that. I'm purchasing a new rug for the living room. I purchased new artwork for the house. So many things. So it's going to be kind of interesting in the next couple weeks when things start to arrive and watch my house transform. I would say my style for my house and decor in general would be a farmhouse modern look. I like it to have some warmth, but I also like the modern clean look as well. So now that the lid color is on, I'm just taking a little bit more of that dark brown Comfort Zone, and I'm just going to apply it a little bit more in the crease, just to kind of blend the two together. So I don't know if anybody else has redecorated their house, but I have. And I'm even looking at new furniture, like new dining room chairs and all sorts of crazy things. My boyfriend thinks I'm a nut job right now because I'm like, oh, we need this and we need that. And I don't know. I think what it is when you live in a house or an apartment, or even if you rent a room, you know, when you first move in, you're so excited and you have all these ideas and you do them. And then like a year later, it starts to get old or boring, or your tastes change. I feel like no matter how long you live in a certain house or apartment, your style and your change, no matter how long you live in your house or your apartment, your style will change. It seems like every 2 years or so. So what you liked at one point, you don't like anymore. So you get this urge to reorganize and declutter and redecorate your house. And that's the phase I'm in right now. And I'm finding some really good things. I may do a home decor video. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, because like I said, I've purchased quite a few things and they're from different stores that are pretty reasonable, anywhere from like Home Goods to Target to Restoration Hardware to Amazon. So for the most part, things are affordable for what they are. So I might do that. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll kind of take you on a tour and show you everything once I get everything completed, and I can show you before and afters and stuff. So let me show you the eyes so far. So this is the look so far. So I'm going to do my eyeliner, my mascara, and pop on some lashes real quick just to save some time, and I will be with you guys shortly. Alright you guys, so I did my eyeliner, my mascara, my lashes. I used the L'Oreal Matte Signature eyeliner. I like it, but I'm starting to run out of it, so it was such a struggle to get like full pigmentation, if that makes sense. And then for mascara, I just did an old classic, the Covergirl. It was the first one I grabbed. And then my lashes, which are my all-time favorites, let me grab the box, are the Huda Beauty Sasha number 11, the classics. I literally just love these things. They are my everyday lashes, and they are what I'm wearing now. I think they're so beautiful, and they're great for hooded eyes because they start out short in the front and then get longer as you go out, which is perfect for hooded eyes if you're looking to get into lashes. And then I thought I was recording and I realized I wasn't, so I ended up putting lip liner on. And my all-time favorite lip liner is the MAC Cosmetics in Strip Down, because I love a nude lip and that's kind of my go-to. And so with nudes, it's really hard for me to find a good nude that doesn't have too much pink in it. I like a pretty brown neutral color, and a lot of nudes have pinks in them. And when I put on a pink nude, I look sick. So when I find something that's pretty neutral, brown toned, I stick with it for a long time. So I have a million of these, and that's what I have on my lips today. And then for lipstick, I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty Staycation Matte Lipstick. And I have very, very dry lips naturally, and I put moisturizer on, or lip balm, all the time, like all day, every day, before I go to bed. It's religious of me. And her matte lipsticks I honestly really like them because it almost feels like they have like a coconut oil or something in them. They're very lip balmy consistency, but the color when you see it is a matte color, so it's really, really pretty. So as you can see, it's just a really, really pretty brown nude, no pink to it, or if it does have pink in it, it's like very minimal. But so then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on a tiny bit of highlight, bronzer, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to use the Babe in Paradise with Morphe Bretman Rock collab, and I'm just taking it on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH08 brush, which looks like this. And what I like to do, let me grab it. I like to take a little bit of setting spray. My favorite's the Morphe because it's such a fine mist. And I just squirt my brush a little bit. And I'm gonna dip into the color. I kind of want like a really bronze look today, so I think I'm gonna go in with Shady Bitch, which is this one. It's like a dark, pretty glowy one. So I just dip my brush in just a little bit, and I'm just gonna dab it. I like to dab to start and then kind of work my way up. I feel like when you do too much at once, it kind of gets a little messy. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I just want a light glow. I don't want anything beaming or super crazy, just because, like I said, I'm not doing anything today, so it's just like a nice natural glow, if you want to call it that. Not too bad. So that completes today's look. I hope you had fun chatting with me this morning and seeing how I came up with this look. If you haven't already, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I'd love for you to join the family here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you guys are all happy and healthy, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye guys.